Hello, it's 10 p.m. I just watched a random video on the fact that if you take the maximum of two random numbers, it is the exact same thing effectively as just taking the square root of a random number. And so now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to literally plot a graph of it and encode it. I'm going to actually try this. I'm going to try and code it. Okay, this is actually good. So I've generated 500. I'm going to do it just for intervals of 500. And we're not going to have this be infinitely small. But what I did here, we'll stop the code. So we have an array with 500 elements in it that just all start out as zeros. And we have a random function that's going to generate me a random number. And then that's basically all I got. And every time a random number exists, or we get that random number, it gets added to that spot in the array. Okay, so I think now I have generated a maximum function, which is going to slowly add to the bottom of this thing, and it's going to slowly build up. Not too bad. I just said, because this bottom down here is the height, I just said now we're going to take the maximum value, and that's going to be the x value, and the height is just going to be how many there are, basically. How many goes up is that, and each square is 1. So we could kind of begin to see this distribution for however many iterations we have. Maybe I should have added a counter or something to say how many iterations we've gone through. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. Okay, I got that one. So now it should be, I should probably tell it to say the number of iterations every now and then, huh? Okay, great. I got it working a little bit. I guess I did get it working, not a little bit, I got it working. And then now I'm gonna make the other one. Okay, great, I made the other one. Now it just takes the square root, and then it graphs the square root. And because the square root of something between 0 and 1 goes up, supposedly this graph should be higher, or it should be a linear straight line, because I did this from 500 squared, so the square root will be 500, so the rightmost should be 500, and the graph only goes 500 tall. So we should end up seeing a line of y equals x. That one kind of makes sense to me, but intuitively, I don't see how the maximum of 2, I can see it with geometry, but just intuitively it doesn't make sense. But now I'm going to leave these two running side by side on a time lapse while I go take a shower, because it is 10 p.m. and I need to go to sleep, and I have 3 exams I need to be studying for, but I saw a YouTube video and now I had to code it. So I'm going to stop this one, and then let's do it. Let's do a time lapse. Okay, I let that run for about 10-15 minutes. The distributions are about the same. This left one is the maximum function, and this right one is the square root function, but you wouldn't be able to tell otherwise. But while I was sorting laundry, I had a thought. What function could I do to get the minimum? So I'm going to change the maximum to min, And then the other one, what do I change it to see if I can get the same graph? I'm gonna try, I went through 53,000 iterations. Okay, I'm gonna try squaring it and see what graph we get. This time I'm not gonna be able to watch it as I'm doing it because I'm actually gonna go take a shower because I need to go to sleep. Okay, so the right one is gonna be the square, the left one is gonna be the minimum. I have zero clue if this is gonna end up being the same graph or not, but let's go. Play, time lapse. Okay, 20 minutes and 1 shower later, I have the graphs. So the minimum graph looks exactly how I expected it to, basically the inverse of the maximum graph and the inverse of the square root graph. But the square looks more like the xy plot of the 1 over x graph, which is interesting. I would like to find something that mirrors the distribution of the minimum function. I just don't know what it would be. If anyone wants it, this is a P5JS code for the square function. And here is my P5JS code for the minimum. If anyone wants to just do that. Not too terrible to code. I'm not a big programmer and I was able to still do it in a few minutes. So it's just, I have no idea what the other function would be. It matches minimum. I know the graph of random is going to end up just being like a rectangle. You see, I would like to look it up, and I feel like someone's probably already looked it up, but I don't want to. I want to just mess with graphs and see. So I might just run 2 and just see what they do. Okay, the logarithm did not work. Alright, I'm running cube root and 4th root of the random number.